We go. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Laura, so we were talking earlier before we hit record, and we had something completely different planned for today. But as you kind of just started sharing some thoughts that you were having, I thought that'd be a great podcast for us to have. And so I thought maybe, people watching could really kind of be helped by that. So do you want to kind of share kind of just your thoughts and what you were talking about?
Yeah. So I was saying how we have anticipated getting rain for months and we just have not had any, and how I was very excited for this day to come, which was yesterday, to have just like a dreary, rainy day to get caught up on a bunch of work and that sort of thing. And by the end of the day, like I was honestly kind of in a funk. Like I was getting stuff done, but I had forgotten that I actually do so much better when the weather's nice and it's warmer, so I can get outside and do things. And it really made me reflect about how so often we're in the moment of now and we're always thinking about the future and how that's going to be so much better. And it's so easy to spend more time there than really embracing some of the great stuff in that moment. And sure, the rain was nice, but it wasn't like everything was perfect about yesterday. We got the rain, but then I was fighting, like I wasn't eating well, and then I felt tired and sluggish, and I was having to fight more of like the mental stuff that came with it. And so, I mean, I'm sure you have plenty of examples in your lifetime that you can think of, Robin, where you were in moments and you were already thinking about something else and you were passing the time, the special things right in front of you.
Oh, this reminds me, when you were talking about this, I was remembering, I'm like you. I love the summer. Absolutely love the summer. When everybody else is like, I hate the hot 100-degree weather, I'm like, I love it. Love summer, love fall. Winter time can be a funk, and which is why you and I started, I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago, maybe, started doing our Live It list, and how we started like hitting the ground running January 1st. But it always was just a total funk time of the year for me: January, February, March, April, just because the weather can just be dicey, and especially living up north where it's, winter and snow and short days and freezing cold. You had talked about that when we were talking about it. You're talking about how your feet are cold. It's just like, and I was just thinking about how I'd done this post on Facebook about 5 years ago. And we had these neighbors who every single time this is around like in November, December, around Christmas time, every time I would back out of my garage, my house was directly facing their house. And they had like an incredible light show. People would drive by their house just to see their lights. And our family was in the habit of, during that season, of jumping in, piling into the vehicle, into the van, and we'd go get hot cocoa or cappuccino or whatever. And we'd drive around town looking for these, really cool houses with the lights. And I just thought about, I posted this, when I did this post, it was on December 21st, which is the shortest day of the year, like as far as light. And I just was thinking of the metaphor of how, like, the darkest times in our life, the times that we're going through the biggest challenges, even then you can find a bright spot, but you might have to go look for it. You might have to go find it. You might have to go drive around. And as we would go look for these cool lights and these cool houses, we weren't like begrudging it. It was like we were looking with anticipation, like, where's the next one? And as you were talking about that, I thought, man, it's so important that we look in the stage and season of, we talk about this when we, in our vignette on being appropriate in the moment, we talk about what is this what is this stage and season of life? And your stage is a time, it's a window of time that once that window closes, it's gone for good. And like, there's just different times, like, you know, when your kids are, when your kids are babies, that, there's that saying, the days are long, but the years are short. And when you're a mom, you totally understand what that means, where 100% of your awake time, you are like, somebody's needing you and wanting you. And it can be like, so I can't wait until they're in school.
Oh yeah.
You've lost these, whatever that stage brings. Maybe it's the cuddling where they want you, where they think you are, they think you're cool. And then your kids go into high school and beyond, and they become more independent. So,
well, and honestly, when I thought that yesterday, it also was kind of cool because I realized how much I've grown since then, because I remember when my kids were young and really being in that state of mind a lot, where you're just always like, oh, I wish I could be doing this, but I can't because my kids don't allow it. Or I wish we could buy this, but I can't because I feel like financially we're not able, and like really spending a lot of time there. And now I'm just like, it's okay. I'm not even going to think about it because I focus on this. This is really cool right now. My whatever, our child is going through this, and that's really cool, instead of thinking about, because we can always find, and I think that's probably the bigger issue as a society. It's easier to focus on the negative versus the positive, because you can easily find the negative about any situation, but look for the bright light. Look for, maybe you are in the middle of a home remodel and everything is so stressful. But look at, maybe you're noticing little feet, whatever marks in the dust because your kid, like the cuteness of your kids, and just really focusing on the snuggle times and that, versus like the mess, because it is stressful. It really is. But don't put your energy there. And then eventually one day you'll be like, oh, my house is done, but I'm so glad that I enjoyed the time where my kids were little.
Yeah.
So yeah. Man, really, that was the, go ahead.
Well, I just was thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking, and this is, maybe a framework you and I can work on, but I was just thinking of kind of like a 2-step framework, like how to be appropriate in every single moment of our life. I was thinking, because as you were talking about how like, there is something in us that wants to look forward to something. I mean, that's really what hope is all about. It's looking forward to, it's like a positive expectation, and that's a very good thing. But then there's also the good thing of celebrating the good things in your life now. So kind of a 2-step framework of anticipating the exciting things of the future, but celebrating the moments of the now that you can really enjoy. That once they're gone, we've talked about this on another podcast about that song, You're Gonna Miss This. Remember that?
Yeah.
That Trace Atkins song about, man.
Well, and honestly, maybe that is like the new definition of the sweet spot, or whatever you want to call it. Because like, if you can find that really special area of the joy of the anticipation off in the horizon, but like relishing in the now, I feel like that is gold, right? Because you're right there really savoring what is now, but then like in your heart, you can feel it leaping forward, and there's good things to come. That's always my favorite place to be. Like, oh, this is so great. But then that there's always hope for the future too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Laura, that is a framework we'll work on, and maybe we can share it in another, but I think that is great. And it's just like when you were talking about it, it's like, that's what, that would be a great tool to have, where, because sometimes like we feel guilty, like I'm looking forward to the future, but then I'm feeling guilty because I'm not enjoying the present. And just, coming up with a tool that we can use and share with others on how do you do both? It's just kind of that paradox, a paradox have two different things that seem to be contradicting, but not necessarily.
Well, would that be sabotaging your own happiness? Because like you are not allowing yourself to really relish in good, because it is there. No matter what people say, there is always the silver lining in every situation, and really just enjoying that. But instead it's like, look, like whatever, maybe, yeah, maybe you have family living with you and like your household is more stressful because you have these people living with you. And so you're constantly thinking about, I can't wait for them to leave. But instead, it's like, this is a one chance opportunity to just like have this incredible memory, relish in it, and really focus on that. And so I guess that's what the whole reflection was, just like, anytime you catch yourself, just immediately stop and just find the beauty in today, and then just let your heart leap with excitement for the future. But you don't need to get caught in those details so much that you can't enjoy the now.
I love that, Laura. I was just kind of taking notes while you were talking, and just I'm putting it on my graph paper here, but just basically hope and joy. So land there, and I love the word that you use, relish. Relish in the hope, the fact that you've got hope for the future. I mean, that is powerful. But then relish in the joy of the moment. So hope for the future, joy in the moment. Those are two gifts. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I don't know, I mean, as we were talking, Laura, that is just, I'm just processing this for the first time, like in that way, because I would always feel kind of guilty. Like I want to have a hope, a bright expectation for the future, but then I'm feeling like I'm having to let go of the good things in the moment, and I'm not living in the present. But then when I live in the present, then maybe I'm not, anticipating.
Well, and it goes back to the all or nothing mindset, really, I think, because you just, you're feeling torn, and instead maybe we can embrace both to agree to a degree. So that's what I'm going to work on.
There you go. There you go. We'll work on that for all of you. See if we can maybe come up with a tool sheet or some type of tool where it'd just be nice to, in the moment when you're feeling, I don't know, when you're just wanting time to pass, where you could just kind of pause yourself and kind of center yourself and remind yourself of, whatever. So we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Get back to all of you on that. If we can. Something.
Just redirect when you find yourself, redirect and look for something that's special today that may not be there down the road, and just relish in that moment.
Yep. So good. All right. Well, we will plan on seeing you all next time.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.